What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation, man? Before we get into everything, man, I wanna take a short break, a short moment of silence, man. Shout out to Voodoo C and Miss Voodoo C, man. They had to put Pedro to rest today, man. So if y'all keep up with the sauce, y'all know Pedro is the dog, and you know I'm an animal lover, man. You know I love the animals and shit. I love animals more like most people. So you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry to hear that. I meant to put the picture up, and I had it got messed up. I was the screenshot and everything. I didn't get it all together in time, but I just want to take a moment of silence, man, to send my love out there. I know that's a devastating deal, man. Like I say, they hold it down with the moderator duties every day, every evening. You know what I'm saying? Hold it down like 4 flats. So. You know, just send a little bit of love out that way. I don't trust no goddamn cats. I don't want that damn cat. But, you know, again, sincerely, man, I'm sorry I had to do that, but hopefully he's in all dogs go to heaven. But, you know, maybe he's kicking up there with Chilo. But we're going to get into it tonight, man. I want to welcome everybody to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. So that means we're talking all sports, only Houston. And, you know, today was the last day at the Greenbriar, so we're going to talk about that. We got some roundtable action tonight. We're going to talk about some other things going around the city of Houston, you know, a lot of very interesting things. The boy said, Credell said, Mike Vrabel fucked up my secondary, got to fix it.
Too much sauce.
Cronell said, man, Vrabel fucked up NY secondary. I got to fix this. Rip to Pedro.
Already. Appreciate the love, Ash Mel. Man, so like I said, we got the round table in the mix, man. Who we got in the house with us this evening? I don't know, everybody speak at once.
What's going on, man? You got your boy Third Coast Sports TV Wink in the building, man.
Already.
You got your boy Hector Flores in the mix as well, that kid from Sharpstown.
Already. Hold it down for Sharpstown.
And you got your boy Wise, the wisest of them all. Fuck.
Bro, that was corny.
Oh, man. Appreciate that, man. Savage Rock and Roll. That's what's up, man. That sounds like a new name. Welcome to the stream. If it's your first time, I don't know if I recall seeing it before, but
That's too much sauce.
appreciate that love.
What's up,
Appreciate the
Honcho?
follow-through.
Love the background. Hashtag Texans.
Already. Shout out to Savage Rock and Roll, man. Appreciate the super saucy, super chat love. But like I said tonight, man, we're going to get into a bunch of things. But before we get into any of that, before we get into any of those things, man, we have to talk about the most important thing that is the top topic of every night, and that's you, Sauce Nation. So what's the motherfucking deal? Again, I hope y'all are having a terrific Tuesday, man. I know it's been some ups and downs and some other things, but we're going to get into the roll call, and we're going to make sure we show y'all the love that y'all deserve. So if you are from the city, and the city is Houston, man, you know, make sure you shout out your side with pride. If you're not from the city, let us know where we can send a little bit of that digital computer love, man, some of that old modern day internet love. We're going to send it directly to you. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no Match.com type shit. You know, there's just some saucy love. But let's see what we got in the mix, man. We're going to get right in it to win it. So let's get to the top. Oh, see, look, I hate when I do this. So don't even want to let me know who started the love off. So the first is gonna let me see. Let's scroll down a bit. Okay, there we go. Angel Garcia, J Pac, Mr. Asian Pikachu, my favorite of all the Pikachus. Miss Voodoo C, White Persuasion, Rafael Hernandez, Balin Rios, your boy Anthony, Lucas Gomez, Joe Batista, Zachariah, rated the Cowboys fan, but he eyed in our book. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. Everybody ain't got to be Texas fan. Dewey Harris, what's the motherfucking deal? Ready? You trying to get that 2K action going. Heidi, T-Mac 34, what's the motherfucking deal? Frank Aldaco, Wise, I see you in the chat and in the motherfucking round holding it down. Nathan King, what's the motherfucking deal? 335, holding it down already. Let's see, Savage Rock and Roll, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see, Josh Cooper, what's the motherfucking deal? I said, cat eat your dead body. Yeah, well, I can't trust no goddamn cats, man. Let's see. No Fly Zone. Mr. Killer KB, what's the motherfucking deal? Chase King, what's the motherfucking deal? Jack Tripper, the motherfucking pimp representing the SWAT, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Alpine, Texas, already. Spring in the motherfucking house. Broderick Brooks, what's the motherfucking deal? Dre Day to God, what's the motherfucking deal? 45 in ranking already, holding it down. Let me see, make sure I ain't missing nobody here. I want to make sure everybody get their love, man. Lucas Gomez, I don't know if I said that, but definitely. I don't know why the chat acting janky right now. D. Will, what's the motherfucking deal? HTX Savage, what's the motherfucking deal? I see A-Leaf in the house. I see Mississippi in the mix. Shout out to Nathan King. Texan Boy, what's the motherfucking deal? Mo City Astroworld already. Samuel, I don't even know how to say your last name. I'm just going to call you Samuel Lee. What's the motherfucking deal? Kellen Boys, what's the motherfucking deal? Rigo, Dirty Bay in the motherfucking house. Unique, always good to see you. Already. You be listening, no commenting. Well, we want your comments too. We greedy over here. Tom Ball, what's the motherfucking deal? Devontae, already good to see you, man. Like I say, man, appreciate everybody following through. But we're going to get into some conversation, man. Today was DW4 Texans, I already represent. Today was the last day of the Texans at the Greenbriar, you know. So they're going to bring their ass back home to Texas after, I guess, they get a little bit of rest tomorrow and they get ready for the preseason game. And so make sure y'all know that we will be an hour ahead. So the preseason game starts at 7:30, I believe. So we will be streaming at 6:30, giving y'all an hour pregame. And then immediately after the game, we will have the postgame show, taking all your calls, taking all your thoughts, taking everything you want to say. T-Real, Ferocious Guru, see y'all. What's the motherfucking deal? Lufkin Pearland in the house already. B-Shell, what's the motherfucking deal? But so make sure y'all are part of that. Also, man, make sure if y'all want to be a part of the Madden League, Wink say he finna get the Xbox active tonight. So if y'all want part of the Madden League, if you got the pre-order, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and get early on that. But if not, the rest of y'all, I know when y'all pick up the, I guess the regular edition or whatever, I don't know how Madden be acting. Madden damn near like some Jordans. You got too many goddamn editions. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be active. So make sure you hit the sauce line. Text the sauce line with your gamer tag, if you whatever your system is, and so we'll make sure we make that shake. Let's see. Can't wait in your Bar Scott voice already. Let's see what else. Say Xbox is alive. I got you, Kellum. I got you on the PlayStation mix, and Wise gonna handle the PlayStation action. So if you're on PlayStation or you're on Xbox, we're gonna make sure we take care of y'all. But outside of that, man, like I said, let's get into it. Like I say, last day at the Briar. You know, it seemed like the Texans been across the country. They seem like they've been on the other side of the world. So we've been kind of picking and choosing where we get our news. And then, you know, soon we're going to have, you know, Wise going to be in the mix. He's going to be able to give us some direct love when they come back to town. You know what I'm saying? Even though somebody's out there trying to hustle him for his tickets. But it's all Gucci. He ain't look, Wise ain't no hoe. You ain't going to punk him for his tickets.
Too much sauce.
You know what I'm saying?
How early need to wake up to make it camp? Damn it.
But again, man, so we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about power rankings. I know that's been out. I know a lot of people want to speak on that. But like I say, finally wrapping it up at the camp, we've been getting the information. We've been seeing a lot of things. You know, Kiki's been out. Braxton's been making a little bit of noise. I know y'all saw that play, that wonderful play by Hopkins that leaked out today, the way he adjusted on that route. It's a thing of beauty. I can't wait to see that DW4 and that Hopkins 10 connection this year is going to be a thing of beauty. It might be one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen in your football lives. But before we get into that, I want to talk about something. It just hit me, man. I want to talk about this, and I want to know how everybody feels. We're going to get into the round table. So, I don't know if you guys have heard, big changes coming to the NFL. The Saints and the Rams deciding to go out on a limb, do something different this year, bringing male dancers to the dance teams. Now, if the helmet rule already wasn't bullshit, you know, and now that they're doing some of these shenanigans, I want to know how y'all feel about this, and what would your thoughts be if the Texans were to entertain some of this tomfoolery and some shenaniganery? We'll start with Wink, work our way to Hector, and then we'll talk to Wise. So, man, how do you feel about that whole situation, man?
We're just gonna go ahead and give it the Cisco and Neva treatment, man. We just gonna thumbs that straight on down. Like it's not needed. You know what I'm saying? It's why change it up? Because why do you want to take away from the women who are involved in the sport of football when you get to glance at them on the sidelines? Like it's already enough men on the field. You know what I'm saying? So let them go ahead. Let the women, you know, do what they do on the sideline. You know, I want to see them dancing. I don't want to see no dudes dancing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how I feel about it. And, yeah, they get a special thumbs down from me.
Man. Hector, how do you feel about the the NFL decided to be progressive and decide to bring some male entertainers to join along with their female cohorts on the sideline. What do you think the general response to that idea will be?
That's too much sauce.
Well, obviously it's going to be negative if you're looking
those
at
cheerleaders
Wink's
keep
response to
suing,
it.
they'll get
But I mean, it's not like it was bound to happen. I mean, you have male cheerleaders in college sports, so
Yeah.
I mean, it was bound to happen. It was going to happen to the pros. Because I mean, if you really think about it, especially, well, I mean, obviously I know how it is in sports, especially when it comes to like the dance teams and all that. For males to get into that part of the game, they really can't do it once they're done in college. That's it. And so a lot of them have to go into being a mascot, and that's already harder than it can be, because you got to think about just as many college athletes out there. There's only few professional athletes, and so now you have to think about there's only so many male cheerleaders in college that there's only so many mascots in sports. So oh shoot, I'm kind of loud. It is what it is. I mean, I don't care too much about it. I mean, if they want male cheerleaders, that's cool. I think it needed to be done. It's all about being progressive now these days. We're having a lot more women moving into like coaching roles and all that. So why not have a male cheerleader?
Okay. Wise, what are your thoughts on the NFL bringing in dancers that's male?
Sometimes they say no comment is better than a comment, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Hey, they say if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I'm gonna say some shit. I ain't with that shit. That shit is off the wall. That shit is tomfoolery. We don't need to see none of them shenanigans. If you out there and that's what you checking for, shit, the niggas already wearing tights and shit on the field. You already getting enough of your field, man. Like, don't you look, save some space for the thighs and breasts, all right? You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all putting extra pieces in the chicken that don't nobody eat, man. Look, hey, all I'm saying is I'd rather, even though, because the broads already did NFL, I'd rather the power dancers over cheerleaders. Anyway, some cheerleaders be a little too skinny for my likings. But hey, if that's your bag, it is what it is. But hey, we don't need all that. We don't need no sausage factory on the sidelines. You know what I'm saying? You got to stick to the original guidelines. But anyway, that's just my opinion on that. That's just my thought. Everybody may not agree. Maybe some ladies in here who say, hey, we want some eye candy too. Y'all do what you do. Here's the deal. So talking about, let's get into the power rankings for a bit. I done seen a bunch of different reports. Now I didn't catch the NFL power rankings, and I heard that they were a little bit different. But I heard I did catch the Bleacher Report, and Bleacher Report had us ranked number 14, along with the other team in Texas,
12.
Dallas. But you said NFL had us 12?
12.
Okay. Because what I seen, like I said, for Bleacher Report, they had us ranked 14 with Dallas, and I thought
They
that was
can
some
send
ass.
all them down to Dallas.
They send them all to Dallas. Look, they're gonna send them male cheerleaders down to Dallas with the them retired female cheerleaders who work in the strip club in Dallas. They can have their own little whole thing going. They can figure all that shit out themselves. So my deal is, like I say, I've seen some people, they were talking about it. They said some of the writers had us ranked as high as 8th. Some of the writers had us ranked as low as 21st. Some of them put us over the Jags and over the Titans, which automatically that should be automatic. Like we already know the situation with the Titans. And like anybody who willingly put the Titans over us, knowing that what we are when we're healthy, they're ignorant. I mean, just ignorant. Just ignorant. Sound like the Michael Jackson off South Park. That's just ignorant. Because if all I'm gonna say is 57-14. I mean, I ain't even got to go into detailed explanation about that. Like, what have the Titans done that has put them, that is taking them out of there? What have they done that is worth an additional 34, 44 points to put them in the conversation? Nothing. You can go talk about they can talk about Malcolm Butler's over there locking down what's his name, Corey Davis. That just means Corey Davis is trash. Because we've seen what the Texans receivers have done to Malcolm Butler in the preseason, in the regular season. That's not even a question. Occasionally in the postseason. So it's just like Malcolm Butler's not the lick. And he's shutting everybody down at Titans practice. That makes me feel even better about the whole situation. You know what I mean? And you ain't lying. Exactly. We've been whooping the Titans way before 57-14. So man, we're gonna get into we're going to talk, like I said, we're going to talk about the power rankings. And like I said, y'all can talk about what y'all saw. Like I said, I only had a chance to see the Bleacher Report, so if y'all saw some others, definitely give your input on that. We'll start with Wise and work our way back to Wink. And let me know how y'all feel about that.
I believe the Texans should be ranked anywhere from 5th to 10th. I don't believe they should be top 5 as of yet because, I mean, it's going into a preseason where we don't know about our offensive line still. You still don't know about the tight end position. We still don't know how the secondary is going to look in full product. So, I mean, the only thing we have hopes on, and we know that's going to be consistent, is DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson. So, I mean, I get where they try to throw some shade on the Texans and things like that. But, I mean, if the Texans is a real team, they'll do like what the Rockets did and use that as motivation. I mean, the past 2 seasons, they've been saying, oh, the Rockets can't do this. The Rockets going to be 5th. The Rockets going to lose 10 more games next season. But every year the Rockets come back and do something better. So, I mean, hopefully they have that mentality, the same thing as the Astros. I mean, it's a new championship kind of feeling in this city. So, I mean, guys got to follow that and just forget the disrespect and put their mind to it and get better.
Okay. I agree. I definitely agree. Use that shit as motivation. I saw Hopkins actually. Somebody posted about OBJ should have get paid. I don't know if that was on First Take or if it was on the other one. But he kind of retweeted that earlier, talking about, hey, you know, basically keep my name out your motherfucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? No?
It was actually D'Angelo Hall.
D'Angelo Hall. Oh, we already know that. D'Angelo Hall might as well shut all the fucks up. God damn, he need to shut the door, shut the car door, shut himself in the house. Like, that nigga don't even need to show it. He should not ever speak Hopkins' name, because what they should have did immediately after he said that, should have showed that little scene, should have showed that I feel God,
had
boy,
to restart
and then
practice of
show
how bad they are.
to, where the fuck he went and got his ankle surgically repaired. I'm surprised he can still walk. But again, that dude been a hater because he used to hate on Andre too. You know what I mean? On the cool. He used to hate on Andre, said Andre was overrated, talking about Andre was only good in zone and shit like that. So he used to hate on Andre. He's just always been a hater, and now he's a commentator hater. But Hopkins basically said, keep my name out your mouth. OBJ, that's my boy, but don't even talk about me with dudes like that. And so, I mean, shit. Yeah, look, shut all the fucks up, man. But Hector, man, what do you think? What have you come across seeing in the power rankings? How do you feel about it? Where do you feel like the Texans should be positioned?
Kind of like what Wise said, 10 to 5. But honestly, man, it's preseason rankings. Who gives a shit? I think we should. I won't start giving a damn until like week 8 when it comes to power rankings.
Yeah, 'cause that's when you really have some experience. That's when you really have something to work with. You really have something to go on. You know, you've actually seen some gameplay on the field, you know, early. Because, you know, it's always a team that starts off hot that first 5 games and everybody starts jumping on it. Oh, they're going to go undefeated. And immediately after week 5, they just start bombing. Like, you know, just everything go wrong. They are who we thought they were. Wink, man, what is your opinion? What have you seen on the power rankings, man? And let me know what you feel about the Texans and where they should be ranked.
I only saw the NFL.com one. I saw that, you know, about an hour or so ago. And to be honest, I don't have a problem with it. 12 was respectful. Considering where I saw like a few months ago, like we were like 24th or, you know, something crazy. Like it was, you know, it was absolutely ridiculous. But we were definitely ahead of the Titans because they had Titans at number 14 on NFL.com. So, yeah, as long as we're ahead of them, I can understand. But people are going to be so surprised at Jacksonville. You know, Jacksonville. The fact that they moved Jacksonville to number 2 over the Patriots was blasphemy to me. I understand they have a phenomenal defense and they got a good running game and a solid O-line. You can't hang your hats on that. They don't have nobody at tight end. They don't have no option. Really, I mean, TJ Yeldon. Who's scared of TJ Yeldon? What has he done in this league? What is DJ Chark? I like him, but he's done nothing in the league yet. And D.D. Westbrook and Marquise Lee have really proven nothing either. So, and Blake Bortles is the quarterback. You just can't. You can't trust him because if they're doing what Clarence told me a few days ago, and if what Clarence told me comes to fruition, then the Jaguars are in for a hell of a season, and it's going to go in everybody else's favor. And we'll end up seeing if that defense, because if anything, it's been bolstered more than it was last year. So if they had to fall off and dudes end up finding holes and they end up getting exposed, Jacksonville, I honestly believe, can't be believed in by anybody ever again.
Okay. So some things that we noticed coming out of our own camp, and I want to talk just a little bit about training camp. And like I said, it wasn't just a whole bunch of big stuff coming out. I mean, you know, they're preparing to get ready for the Chiefs and things like that. But a comment was made apparently that Bill O'Brien feels that J.J. Watt is back. J.J. Watt is back to DPOY form. Again, we haven't seen a whole lot. We've seen him do a couple of things, but, you know, just kind of get a quick take from the roundtable. Do you believe that? And if so, what does that mean for this defense? We'll start with Wink, and then we'll work our way back around.
In terms of pressures and things, and pressures and run stops, I hope it's like the 2016 defense.
Okay, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to have to bring you back real quick. I had the mute action going, so I didn't miss the first half of your comments there.
Okay. Was I mute?
Yeah, he was muted.
Could you hear me?
No, they couldn't hear you. So
my bad. Okay.
So I got you.
My bad. Am I good now?
Yeah, you good. You Gucci.
Yeah, I was saying, Bill O'Brien, if he actually made the right assessment and with J.J. Watt, then hey, that's going to create it for the hellacious defense this year, you know. And I was saying, I hope it ends up having to take the takeaways that we had in 2014, and we're good on third down run stuffs, you know, creating exotic pressures and stuff like the 2016 defense. If you can combine those two things, and you honestly have the playmakers on this defense in order to have that, because this defense is more talented. I probably won't say the 16 defense is probably a little better, only from the standpoint that Boye was on that team and you had Quentin Dix. Outside of that, everything else is more solid, and honestly, this defense could even be better than that one, considering the fact you have key calls in the defense who are going in their, you know, second and third years. So I'll take what he said as a grain of salt, but for the casual fan and for the fans who really love and appreciate and value Bill O'Brien's opinion, this is good news for them.
My fault. Hector, your thoughts on Bill O'Brien's statement, or in his alluding to J.J. Watt might be back. Well, Defensive Player of the Year, Watt might be back. What kind of benefit is that? Benefit is that for this defense, and you know who's going to see the most benefit, you know, from J.J. being back?
Your other two pass rushers and Whitney Merciless and Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, you saw how it was when J.J. Watt was out, you know, the year before, and those two were good, were great. Imagine what would happen when you have J.J. Watt on the other side. It just opens up to like who's gonna get the sack at that point. You have at this point now you don't even know which side is your weaker side, because it could literally be the one that doesn't have Jadeveon Clowney on the side. So I mean it's good. I mean it's good to see that Watt's gonna be is looking better. Now I don't know if he's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year again, but especially with the fact that his the group that he's with now. But I think I definitely think this defense is looking to be like a top 5 defense this year.
Okay, top 5 defense paired along with that offense, which has the potential to be one of the best in the league, but also has the potential to be a top 5 offense. I think that bodes well overall for the record and for the postseason hopes if everybody can stay healthy. Wise, your thoughts on J.J. Watt? Is he back to Defensive Player of the Year form in your opinion, or is Bill O'Brien just blowing smoke?
I mean, most likely it can be Bill O'Brien blowing smoke, but I'm not there to see every day how J.J. Watt's doing in practice. Also, he's going against a guy like Chantrell Henderson and Julian Davenport and Senio Clemente. So, I mean, you really can't gauge how J.J. Watt is looking until you see him going against other teams. And next week we go against the 49ers in practice. So we're going to be able to scrimmage those guys. And they got a solid tackle in Joe Staley. And I want to see how J.J. does against Joe Staley. And maybe we can start talking about how J.J. Watt is looking. Also, with JJ being back to form, if that is true, that would improve the secondary. That would give them better looks. They'll be able to hold longer, and that will force turnovers. So, I mean, it would help the linebackers, the defensive ends. It would help the defense in total, and that can lead us to this AFC South championship, especially with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson at the helm of this team.
Okay. We're gonna jump off the Texans for just a second, man. We're gonna play a little game here, a little bit of a hypothetical, because I saw something that said a particular player might be available for trade. And somebody asked me this. Somebody hit me on the gram and asked me my opinion, and I'll let y'all answer first before I give my opinion, because I don't want to sway anybody's perspective. We'll start with Wise. We'll work our way back. If Khalil Mack is made available for trade, is that something that the Texans should entertain?
I've been dreaming of this. You add Khalil Mack with J.J. Watt, with Jadeveon Clowney, with Merciless, with DJ Reader, with Covington, with Dylan Cole, Zach Cunningham, Benardrick McKinney. That got to be like 2001 Ravens defense. I mean, it's going to be better than that. I mean, you're going to have 320-plus sacks guys if J.J. Watt recovers to form. I mean, J.J. Watt can't get double-teamed. You can't double-team Khalil Mack. You can't double-team Jadeveon Clowney because, I mean, how many offensive linemen and how many running backs you going to have in protection? That means you won't have no receivers going out for routes. I mean, running routes. So, I mean, that would be a dream scenario. However, do I see the Texans trying to be that aggressive? Hell no. And I'm not going to even get happy because I know what the Texans have done in the past, and they have never made no type of move like that. So the best move they ever made was for Deshaun Watson, and I don't know if Brian gained about that life. So.
Okay. Well, good question that Broderick said. I want to get your opinion on that too. So if we did make a move and made a deal for Khalil, who loses out on the Texans? What player is going to have to go? Is going to lose his job?
Kevin Johnson. They need corners. I'll send Kevin Johnson, and I'll send Kareem Jackson, and then I'll pick up an Eric Reed in free agency, and then I'll send like a 3rd-round pick.
Okay. Hector, your thoughts on a deal for Khalil? Is it too good to be real?
I mean, I like the idea of getting Khalil Mack. I mean, that just adds another guy that can not only play defensive end but can also play linebacker. So now you're talking about, at first saying you have like 2 pass rushers on one side of the line, on one side for the defense. Now you got 2 sides where it has like 2, in my opinion, 2 possible lead pass rushers. You have Jadeveon Clowney and Watt on one side, and then Merciless and Mack on the other. That just sounds kind of scary at that point. You're gonna have to try to go in the middle, and you got DJ Reader there stuffing you. So it definitely sounds like a pretty good deal to me, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. It will require for us to give up a lot. Plus, he's on his last year of his contract, so it may or may not be a rental. So and if we have to give up a lot for it, I wouldn't want to risk that for a rental. So that's my piece on Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wink, what is your thoughts? I see you shaking your head. I think if you looking at the same comment I'm looking at, I'm assuming the Clarence comment. What are your thoughts?
I'm not even on YouTube right now. I was on mute, man, and I'm just shaking my head at the fucking, like, if let's just say scenario fantasy wise, if this was to happen, no front in history would be greater than this. No way you have that. That means you would have 2. That means you would have 2 defensive player of the years on the same team. It's not out of the question to say that Jadeveon Clowney won't see one. It's not out of the question. Who's to say he wouldn't get one this year? Because he has more speed, athleticism, more power, and physical skills than all of them. Nobody's going to be able to single him one-on-one. It's just not going to happen. Everybody's going to eat. If that was the case. And honestly, I think the person who would eat the most in a situation like that is Whitney Merciless. I honestly believe a guy like Whitney Merciless will rush over guards like the whole game and eat, and nobody would be able to stop him. It's the pockets would collapse so quickly that you couldn't run, you couldn't pass, the team is our. When we think about teams, when we play against teams like the Patriots, and Patriots fans have been giving the Texans their respect for the last 3 or so years. Even they know it's a matter of time with the teams that we've had over the last couple of years. Even their fans have said, man, if y'all had a quarterback, y'all have won. Boom. Okay, we get a quarterback. They won their heels last year. Deshaun Watson plays so much better the second time around when he plays, the same opponents. And Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless alone they make Tom Brady's life hell. And if you finally able to put a situation like where you have Khalil Mack and J.J. Watt in, and this, if it's a situation where you have fucking Jadeveon Clowney, Reader, Watt, and or Clowney, or Mack, or whoever the fuck else you want to put on the side, doesn't matter. Nobody's seeing that. And we're talking about extra pass rush. You wouldn't even have to blitz a corner. You would never have to blitz a corner or a safety. It's no reason unless you really just want to make everybody's life a living hell. You could jump out routes. You could jump everything. Like JJ and all of these dudes will look like all pros in the background, and it would be strictly because of that. But I'm telling you what, if a situation was like that was to happen, like say like a 1-year deal, or he reaches out and he takes like a little bullshit contract we pay him for this year, and somehow we win a Super Bowl this year, he can test free agency next year, get paid by whatever team, because I doubt we'll be able to swing for him or Clowney in this situation. If you were to pull both of those dudes off, then that would be a great move. And who would care about who gets signed in the secondary? Because we would have the picks in the draft to build the secondary right back up.
Okay. All right. Now, I see a lot of people saying, I see people commenting that, the Raiders would want a lot. Now, if it came down to having to trade Clowney for Khalil, both in that last year of the deal, would you make that move?
Nope.
Okay.
I would personally.
Okay. Hector, what about you?
No.
How about you, Wise?
Hell no.
Okay. So, but getting on to Clowney, that's kind of what I wanted to kind of segue to is because, still no deal has been done. Rumors have been that the Texans have put an offer on the table. But then I kind of asked this question before, that Clowney seems to be willing to bet on himself and bet on his health. And I'm never opposed to a man betting on himself and, hopefully they win big and win out. But I think the situation is he still kind of waits to see what happens with Mac, what happens with Donald. We've seen Donald say shit. He ain't finna do shit until that money come and get right. He said he ain't showing up. He don't give a fuck. He holding out. He ain't going to play a down, not a snap, not a motherfucking thing. We talk about trade talks with Khalil Mack. And again, you're lingering on a possible, bouncing back from a knee scope, and you're kind of risking on your last year of your deal a possible injury. I'd asked this before. We'll start with Wink and then we'll work our way back to Wise. Is Clowney taking a risk, really taking a gamble here, and if he is taking a gamble, do you think he wins big in the long run, or he doesn't fare too much better off than he originally would have had he just taken the deal that's on the table?
I honestly believe he's going to end up exceeding expectations. He's taking the proper precautions right now to make sure his body's right, and he's implementing more skills into his arsenal. I see no reason why Jadeveon Clowney, with a healthy J.J. Watt, a healthy Merciless, Reader, and Romeo Crennel back in the fold, that this man is not going to be able to do everything. Because I look at the steps he was able to take in a scheme that didn't even fit him last season with Mike Vrabel. And look at it was by far his best season. So why am I to believe 4 years into the league and he's not going to be able to do the same thing? This is his 5th year, and I just honestly believe this man is going to show up, show out, and he's going to stamp his name this year in terms of being one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in the league.
Okay, I'm laughing at Roger Bush say my boy L. Thompson on TV looking a couple of snacks away from Nate Newton. God damn, Nate Thompson doing bad like that? He said, look, he ain't got to play no more. It don't matter. Good to get in that flag football league. Want to take a second before I get on to Hector, man. Shout out to the round table, Honcho, Wink, Wise, Hector. It's Chandler. Shout out to Chandler, man. Always holding down the sauce line. Always good to hear from you. I hope you're having an excellent day. Now, Hector, is Clowney ultimately taking too big of a gamble, or will this pay off for him in the end if he is the reason behind the holdout behind the contract talks?
I mean, this is high risk, high reward. I mean, this is a gamble. I mean, yeah, we're talking about that if Clowney stays healthy and he does have a productive year, but then you also have to remember, hopefully the whole team stays healthy. So what happens if he loses some of those tackles for losses and he loses some of those sacks that he gets because of the fact that this defense is fully healthy and they end up sharing the wealth? So then his value kind of decreases in a way, in my opinion. Even though he's still a productive member of the defense, it does. I could see, and then what if he does get hurt? I mean, so you could see his value drop. But at the same time, if he has a career year, I would even say, even if someone looks at him as a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, he's going to make a lot more. Plus, next offseason, the salary cap does increase. So, I mean, it's a high-risk, high-reward thing.
That boy Redor's starting to look like Wilfork, guys.
Talking all this shit, I'm muted. But I say the speculation is that Clowney's camp is the one holding out. So I don't want nobody running. Well, y'all didn't hear me say it, so good. Fuck it. But now I don't want y'all running telling people that Honcho said. That nigga Honcho said Clowney holding out. Y'all probably might be Clowney cousin or uncle when y'all dating a sister or something. And that nigga Honcho talking shit saying Clowney don't want no money. He over there fucking it up. I ain't say that shit. These are speculations. These are possibilities. You know how y'all be acting sometimes. Y'all be in the DMs on some strange shit. Not all of y'all, but some of y'all. But Wise, man, your thoughts? Is Clowney taking too big of a risk, or is he looking for a healthy windfall if everything plays out that way?
I mean, I don't think he's taking too much of a risk. I mean, even if he was to get hurt or his production was to slip, he'll lose out on a couple $1 million. But at the end of the day, he's gonna get paid like Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald. At the end of the day. However, if you do have like a major injury, I still can see him getting paid quite a bit. I mean, you got to look at guys like Danielle Hunter that just got paid. All these young defensive ends that's just they getting paid based on potential. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure a team like the Browns, a team like the Colts, that have a whole bunch of money in cap space will throw a lot of money at Jadeveon Clowney. I can even see the Titans throwing money at Jadeveon Clowney just because of Mike Vrabel and his asshole type of attitude or whatever. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that by him betting on himself, that can benefit him because he knows he has to ball out. And usually players that's on their contract season for the Texans, they always ball out. And then when they get their contract, then their production kind of slides down a little bit on a real. But still, I think he's doing the right thing. He's being smart about it.
Now, here's what I want to do for just a second. I see folks talking about Melo. They talk about Melo. We're going to talk Melo in a minute. We got a couple other things we want to talk with Texans. But while we have our local, Astros insider with us this evening, I want to get some little info. I want to leak some info out to y'all. There ain't no leaks, but y'all know what's shaking. I just want to kind of get a little update, give the people a brief update on the Astros' current situation. They're winning. In spite of all the injuries that this team has sustained, a lot of the big names have not been available. Still smoking the Dodgers, getting wins against the Giants. And let's talk about that great play last night. And I just kind of want you to dive into a little bit of updates of what's going on with the Astros for Sauce Nation, if you don't mind there, Hector.
I mean, like you said, Astros are still top of their division. They've won their last 3 series. They beat Seattle, who was ironically was at first a threat to win for us in the division, but now have kind of slumped, kind of like how I thought they were gonna go. And then now we're talking about the Oakland A's being like I guess our next threat, but not really so much. I mean, they could possibly make a wild card spot, but I don't think they're gonna make a push for the division. And then so you beat Seattle in Seattle, so you gotta take that for an account. You beat the Dodgers twice in a 3-game series against them. One of them you blew them out 14-0. And then you go into San Francisco and you sweep them in a 2-game series. So I mean, the Astros, and the reason why the Astros are so good about this is because they are deep. Their roster is really deep. They have not only are they deep, but they have guys that can play multiple positions. You talk about Marwin Gonzalez, who yesterday came up big with a clutch 3-run home run. A guy that can play the whole infield, plus plays a little bit left field. But I mean, very versatile player. And then you talk about guys like J.D. Davis, who can play, left field, third base, and first base. Bregman, who can play shortstop as well as third. I think he's a better shortstop, but obviously you have Carlos Correa, and I would honestly say Bregman's a better shortstop than Correa, but Correa is the star, and that's why he gets shortstop. I mean, the team is just deep, and that's what just shows how that this team, even when their best players are out, they can still step up with the next man mentality and get the job done. They're still looking good. They're ideally they're gonna win the division, and hopefully get in. Since they're second in the MLB, get at least home field advantage for the first series they're in, come playoffs. Osuna did pretty good. He got a 1-2-3 inning. He came in for the 8th inning. Had a 1-2-3 inning. Only had to throw 5 pitches. So, if you get a 1-2-3 inning with only 5 pitches, you're doing pretty good. Yes, there's still some back. I think there was actually a video of I guess I don't know if it was Astros fans or Giants fans that were heckling him while he was warming up. Now it's common for fans to heckle the opposing pitching bullpen. It just happens, but when you are getting attacked for what he is alleged for, it didn't seem to get to him because obviously he still got the outs that he needed. So I'm really trying to be patient with the whole Osuna situation. I'm happy that we got Osuna. Like I said last time, you and me, we talked about this. I did say that Osuna was somebody that I would like to have in the Astros, despite of his issues. But I think he's in a good place. I think he's with an organization in a clubhouse with guys that are going to help him out and support him, even with the issues that he's having right now. But this is a good place for him to be at, to better himself, to mature himself, because he's young. So I think this is a good place for him to be. I think the Astros are going to be looking good. Plus, he's going to be possibly the thing that's going to help the Astros go to that next level, to possibly do what everybody wants to say. I'm not going to say it, but the R word. And hopefully, he can do it. I think he was that missing link because the Astros needed a closer, and he's a closer. So there's that.
Okay, good shit. Now we go.
I do not support wife beaters.
I wear wife beaters. So I mean, hey, occasionally. I might know a couple of them, but that's none of my business, neither here nor there. But we're going to talk about, while we outside of the Texans realm, we're going to talk about Melo. Melo did verbally commit to the Rockets. Now, my boy Wise been telling y'all a long time. He been trying to, he been breaking news. I'm Braden, like I say, he been telling for a long time. Melo gonna come, y'all. Just chill. He taking his time. He cooling in Africa. You know what I'm saying? He just doing his own thing. Wise, you kind of want to break some info on that situation, or kind of update the folks with what's going on with Melo, so they can. I know the people are they hungry like fish in the like piranhas in the tank. Feed them a little bit, sprinkle them a little bit of that fish food. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, people been hungry for the news. I mean, I've been telling these guys ever since free agency started. I was like, the Oklahoma City looking to buy out Carmelo Anthony. Nobody wanted to believe me. Guess what happened? He got bought out. I said the Carmelo Anthony gonna sign with the Rockets. They were saying, "Oh, Carmelo gonna go to the Lakers." I said, "No, He going to the Rockets. He going to sign with the Rockets. Nobody want to believe me. They tweeted out the news last week, and they didn't believe that it was actually a real true commit. And guess what happened? Today, the real news comes out. Carmelo finally joins the Rockets. He adds that three-point shooting that we need. He adds a guy that's a veteran, has a veteran presence, one of the best offensive players of all time in the NBA history. This guy can go and get it. This guy has been working with CP3 in the offseason. This guy's in South Africa right now. Just hold on. Wait a minute. This guy going to come to H-Town. He going to sign his contract. I don't know why people trying to rush the whole situation. He going to sign. We're going to have the press conference, and we're going to go back and run it back against the Warriors this season. And don't be on the lookout for another trade happening before the season starts or during training camp in August. Late in August.
Okay. So they still make a move. Never count Morey out. You know, y'all be saying Morey ain't the magic man. He definitely is. Now, before we jump back into the Texans, man, it was something that was said. Wink, I definitely want to get your opinion, and we're going to get back to working in that order. You know, that, like I say, on the power ranking I saw from Bleacher Report, they said they had us tied up with Dallas at 14, which I found offensive. I found just being tied with Dallas more offensive than the number 14. You know, I'd have rather been just separate us. Don't put us in that same boat, that same category. But Dak Prescott out there talk about Beasley. Beasley is his number one man. If Beasley is your number one receiver, what do you really see coming to fruition for the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm telling you right now. I'm going to call it right now, weeks before it happened. I'm telling you right now, if Cole Beasley is not knocked out of the game before he sees us, I guarantee you he's getting knocked out of the game, potentially for the season, if he comes week 5, when it's time for them to come make that trip down I-45 to come see us. It's going to be that. It's going to be that type of game where somebody on their side of the football field who what they claim is a great player, somebody's getting injured for the season. And I think he's going to be the culprit that night. Because when you have guys like Dak Prescott coming out and doing the tomfoolery he's been doing, and for him to come out of here and talk about Cole Beasley, who had 36 catches last year for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns last season, is going to come into Houston, regardless if he worked with Rashard Whitfield in the offseason, you know, at Bliss Football Camp. If y'all know about Rashard Matthews, Rashard Whitfield, the footwork king, then y'all know he works magic with these athletes. But it's not going to matter because Cole Beasley doesn't have the size. He's not going to be able to get away from anybody. And at the end of the day, he's going to come see some grown men week 5. And depending on how our season is going and just how we really feeling ourselves, I think he's going to get slapped the fuck up when that game comes. He may not even survive the full game, or he may end up making it to the end and end up finding out an injury, you know, is going to end up taking him out for the season. So shame on Dakota for making that statement, because I don't know how in the hell he could sit there and say that this man is outshining Allen Hurns, who I never believed in from the get-go. He's a one-hit wonder, just like the other receiver who just went to the Bears, Allen Robinson. You know, they had one good year in 2015, and since then they either been hurt or they've regressed in their play. So I'm not worried about them.
There's too much sauce.
And we've been playing.
Shout
Allen
out to
Hurns
the
for
Browns
years, and
team
he's
who
never
keeps
made
smoking
any true
weed.
impact against us. And Terrence Williams, like, he's a bum. Like, I'm pretty sure, you know, when it's time, you know, after that game, I'm pretty sure somebody will be at his doorstep promptly to come pick him up from BFI Waste Management Tuesday morning.
I see y'all getting wired up. I see some of y'all. I know it's a couple of Cowboys fans in the chat. I see y'all bucking the system. Hey, man, look, Jack, you got something to say, man. The motherfucking sauce line open. It's open waiting on you. You want to call in? If you want that action, hey, let me go ahead and put the number up there. I ain't put the number up there for y'all. It's my fault. You know, I've been muting and doing everything. There's a number right there. You can call. You can text in. Remember, if you call in, 100K sauce. You text in, 50K sauce. But it has to be relevant comments. If you're just doing some bullshit, you ain't getting no love. End of the month, whoever has the most sauce will win some Soft Sports merch. Shout out to last month's winner, Voodoo Child. Hopefully that shit will get there. The fucking shit made in Texas. They sent the shit to North Carolina and then sent the shit back to Texas. I don't understand the system. Okay, hold on. We got a caller coming in. Hold on, let me make sure I got the proper look. Oh, they ready. Let's see what's shaking. Who this is, B man? Who this is? What's the motherfucker? Oh, let me hang against him. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in the sauce line this evening?
Oh, it's Asmel. I was just calling in before we got any Cowboys head to call in and letting y'all know don't even bother calling. We don't want to hear none of y'all talking. All y'all can go ahead and get those male cheaters down there. Y'all can shut the fuck up. And number two, they can hate on Houston Texans all they want because when they showed us love, the fucking team got overhyped and thought they were going to fucking do it, and then they choked. So they can fucking keep putting us 32nd, 31st, 30th, 14th, whatever, it don't matter. We're going to shock the world this year.
Already. Shout out to Asmel, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you calling in. Say, look, he didn't put a stamp on you Cowboys haters. He said, y'all ain't finna do shit. He said, y'all need to shut the fuck up. He said, y'all ain't talking about shit. Y'all ain't finna win shit. Y'all measly like Beasley. You know, we're gonna beat y'all easily. So shit, I don't know what to tell you, man. Shit, it is what it is. Let me make sure I put this right, because, you know, you don't get a nickname if you're a bum, so we can't be calling that boy Dak. His name is Dakota. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so that is what it is. Let me make sure we get that right. But I don't know if I'm spelling his name right, but fuck it. But like I say, man, a couple other things going on with the Texans, some things I want to talk about, some things that I want to discuss. And we briefly mentioned Reader a little bit earlier. That boy J.J. Watt, you know, if we're gonna use this 6 degrees of separation, you know, a couple of degrees away. So Bill O'Brien just said, hey, you know, J.J. is gonna be Defensive Player of the Year. He's back in that form. And well, if he's Defensive Player of the Year, he's saying that DJ Reader's the best nose tackle in the motherfucking league. You know, so what is that saying? How do you think this D line is feeling if JJ's saying these things? You know, and a lot of these guys have respect for Reader. We've heard McKinney say a lot of stuff. We've heard a lot of these guys speak on Reader, you know, that he's unselfish. We've heard Cornell come out and talk about, man, he's got some pass rushing ability that's extremely underrated. You know, he's a run stopper too, but he's really a hard worker. He makes sure that things work for other guys. He makes sure to open up holes for other guys so they can make plays. He's not greedy. You know, he said himself, he's not worried about personal accolades. He's all about making sure the team plays well. That's what he's all about. He said, you know, personal accolades are for selfish people. He just wants to make sure the team plays well. Now, I love to hear that attitude. I love that type of demeanor. You know, not a me first guy, but he's a team first guy, but not no Mark kind of way. We'll start with Hector and then we'll work our way back, man. I don't know if Wise still with us or not. I don't see his thing, but if he is, we'll get with you. You know, how do you feel about DJ Reader, and how do you feel about those comments that JJ made about DJ Reader?
I mean, it's a fair assessment because I mean you got to talk about nose tackle is probably one of the most overlooked jobs in football because I mean especially when you have guys on the outside like JJ Watt and Clowney and Merciless. So I mean, you know, a lot of the attention is not going to be on him. And just like Vince Wilfork when he was here, you know, I don't think a lot of people saw a lot of Vince Wilfork except if you notice the work that he put in. And I think DJ Reader was behind Vince Wilfork. You know, he got to learn from him. So I mean, and DJ Reader is a beast of his own. So I mean, I think he's probably spot on. Like I think he is going to be one of the best nose tackles in the league. He'll probably get his. I think he'll definitely stuff the run a lot, but I think he'll get his sack every now and then. I think it is a fair thing to say about DJ Reader. I like DJ Reader. I think he's a great player. And for him to have that team first mentality, that's the mentality that most nose tackles should have. Because I mean, he's probably not going to always get to the quarterback, but he definitely helps to make sure that somebody does.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I've liked reading what he's been bringing to the table, low key and quietly. Like I said, if you're not really paying attention, because a lot of people just like offense. You know, a lot of people just like the big names. If you're not really paying attention to that defense, you're definitely overlooking what Reader does on a game-to-game basis. Wink, what are your thoughts on J.J. Watt, who has been who folks are claiming is back to DPOY form, saying that, hey, well, if I'm DPOY, you know, I got the best nose tackle in the game right here next to me. What does that say about Reader, and what do you think that bodes for his future and bodes for the rest of this team?
I I think he's going to end up having one of his best seasons yet. I honestly see a situation where he could end up with like 5 to 6 sacks because people like to act like he's just freeing guys up. The pass rush he has, guys are freeing him up too. It's not like, you know, if he's used, you know, a lot of speed to power, which he has finesse, he has pass rush ability. You know what I'm saying? He has a guy like Carlos Watkins and Christian Covington with guys like that who are stout in the middle, who can push up the pocket, you know what I'm saying, get on the inside or outside, you know, manipulate on the inside or outside. So I'm not really, hey, oh shit, what the hell is that? Yeah. I really see what this guy's really gonna end up showing him. He's gonna show up, man. He's gonna show up. He's been putting in hard work. He looks a little leaner for him to be as big as he is. He looks like he had a lot of muscle on him. He looks like he lost a lot of water weight in his gut. So I mean, I guess the guy that they brought in, man, he's worked wonders because dudes on the team look totally different. You know what I'm saying? So I can't watch him play. And I'm just so glad that Romeo Crennel gets to coach him again because he's going to be in the position, and I know he values it. He knows how to use nose tackles. But the only thing that kind of trips me out about those statements is what scheme will you run? Is it a 4-3? Is it going to be a lot of nickel, or is it going to be a lot of 3-4? You know, so that's what I really took from the situation when I heard it because I already know that DJ Reader is a phenomenal player at that position.
You actually did name a couple other very interesting names. You know, Covington being slept on, I think is going to have a breakout year this year. Watkins, I think that Clemson connection is definitely going to be. Let me see, it's definitely going to be. Man, hold on, we're gonna talk about that. Watkins is gonna definitely have he's gonna make a name for himself this year because I think he was doing a little bit last year also. Quick question, K, been on the sauce line. I'd like to know y'all's take. Is the punter overrated? Is Leckler overrated? We're just gonna throw that in there.
No,
absolutely not. He's the greatest punter of all time. It's not even close.
Exactly, man. Like I say, I know I've been telling y'all I'm finna drop that Know Your Text. There's just been some slight delays. Oh, underrated. Is the punter underrated? Okay. And would you like the rookie? He's been really good in camp to take. Okay. Oh, my fault. Okay, it's supposed to be is the punter underrated. I don't know much about the rookie, but I know Trevor Daniel. I know he came out of Tennessee, so I'm saying I don't know much about him. He's actually one of the few special teams guys who actually participated in the combine. He ran like I think like a 4.98 or something like that. And then
not bad.
He did like 23 reps on the – no, I think he might have 25 reps, something like that on the
Trevor Daniel. I want to say I heard that name. You said Tennessee?
From Tennessee, yeah. He's a punter out of Tennessee.
I want to say I heard that name. Yeah. I want to say I heard that name. Yeah, he's a great coffin corner kicker. Like he gets spin. Like he has a much like placement. And the way that a ball is able to bounce, like he's one of these guys similar to like Marquette King. Like he is very, very accurate. We're talking about he's like Shane Leckler in Oakland. If anybody ever saw like Shane Leckler punt early on in his career when he was with Oakland before he came to the Texans, man, this man like he didn't have down years.
Oh no.
You know, and the way he was able to spiral that ball. Trevor Daniel has like this special technique because I ended up watching a video because Ray had sent me shout out to Ray and Ray had sent me a video of this guy and I watched that video and I was like, Jesus Christ, bro, he made if he replaced Shane Leckler, nobody's gonna be upset at all. I guarantee you that. Go watch Trevor Daniel film. Go watch how he was able to get in the type of field position. I think he had like the most punts within 5 yards of anybody in NCAA history or some shit like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was good. Like I say, he came on as a walk-on. earned himself a scholarship. And you could tell he wants to be a little bit more. So I'm not opposed to him. You know, he'll probably try to go down there and lay a little hat if he does have a bad punt or some action like that. So, you know, I'm not opposed to him. Like I say, we're gonna definitely get more into it on the Know Your Texans. But yeah, he's definitely made it because he was like in the one of the top punters in the
yeah, he was
for a minute, but I forgot who ended up edging him out late in the season. But yeah, I don't think he's underrated. It'd be an interesting competition. I think too. I'm not sure exactly how much Leckler's getting paid. I forgot I had the numbers, but you probably get him for much cheaper. You know,
it's veteran minimum or something like that. Something low. I want to say it's like $1 million.
Yeah, because he had just had like a little extension. I think only for like a year or two. I can't remember how much it was. But yeah, you could end up again because Leckler's like 40 and some change, 41, 42 years old. He's like the oldest dude in the league right now, I think. Or up there.
Vinatieri is.
Vinatieri still in the mix?
Vinatieri is like 45.
Okay. So like I say, you know, Leckler's up there, and he's got what I think he might be currently the Iron Man too for the most consecutive games, something like that. Well, Leckler, but
his birthday just happened.
Yeah,
like today or yesterday, one of the two.
But his deal is Leckler's probably one of the most decorated fucking punters you will ever see in your motherfucking lifetime. That dude from A&M on, you know what I'm saying, has been more than consistent. So. But, I mean, if you do, like you say, you got to look to the future, man. So if this guy's what you know, want, because you don't know how much longer Leckler's going to want to stick around, you know, shit, you know, pick him up. And if he's cheap, even better, you know, save a little cash. One other thing I want to speak on, and shout out to Wise, I think he had to make it, but very interesting thing before we get out of here. It's kind of the last thing we may speak on. Watson may not play versus the Chiefs this game. Is that good sign, bad sign, smart move by the Texans, or just kind of them being cautious? We'll start with Hector, and then we'll get Wink's opinion on that.
I read something that they were saying that they were going to play him a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm hearing mixed reports then, because I saw a little thing they were saying that it's a positive. But y'all already know how the media is. You know, always full of speculation. But if they don't play him, how does that? What do you think that's saying? Or do you think, like I said, they're just being cautious with him, or they're trying to take time to maybe look at some other positions, see what else is going on, or how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I wouldn't be against having some of the not the starters, but some of the star players. So Watson, Hopkins, you know, I would not be opposed to them not playing, mainly because we know they're gonna make the team for one. The other thing is, it's honestly. It has no meaning for guys that have already solidified their roster spot. So I would say it's fine. If there was a game that I would kind of want to see him play, maybe week 3. So I would say it's fine. I mean, plus you want to take as much time as you can, especially with his knee. Even as confident that he is, this is, you know, it's not, you know, preseason isn't the place for him to be going all out for.
All right, Wink, what are your thoughts on that? If Watson doesn't play versus Kansas City, is it a bad sign, or is it the Texans just kind of being cautious? Probably the right move. How do you feel about that?
And so, I'm going to put it to you. It's a couple ways I can look at it. Generally, I want him to play because I don't want him to have any rust coming on into the season. The more work he can get against, you know, the better teams in the league, the more prepared he can be for week 1. That's one way to look at it. The second way to look at it is similar to what Hector said, but to expand on what Hector said, as long as he's not out for the entire preseason, I really don't mind it. If he's not going to play this game, and if he ends up playing week 2 and 3, then I'm fine because I already know he's going to sit out the entire the 4th game, you know, the 4th preseason game. He won't see that game at all. If he can play like 1 to 2 series in the preseason, you know, 2 to 3 series, I'm fine with that. Get him out of there. If he shows you something or he goes down the field, marches down the field, real easy, go ahead and take him out of the game because he's showing everybody, hey, y'all going to regret the day y'all rude, talking all that bullshit about me and this and that, saying that other dudes are better, and I'm going to have to prove y'all wrong again.
Okay. We're going to take a couple of little texts that came in with Southline. Man, shout out to Broderick Brooks. Says, which linebacker on this team makes the next step and becomes great out of Scarlett, Cole, or Cunningham? Or just like I say, we'll lead it up just to whoever's clever, whoever want to answer, and then we'll go from there.
I say 2 of the 3. I say Cole and Cunningham. I've been singing their praises the whole off season, and even last year during the season. These dudes got phenomenal instincts. You know, I was just on a podcast Friday night, you know, after I got off with you guys, man, and I called in and I was talking about the Texans, and, you know, these particular guys, one of them had the nerve to say that Dylan Cole wasn't even good. And he had the nerve to say that Bernard McKinney wasn't even good. And as critical as I've been of Bernard McKinney, you have never heard Wink say that Bernard McKinney is not good. I've never said that. And I've always been critical of him of his weight and coverage. That's it. Outside of that, I have no problem with his game whatsoever. But to say that Bernard McKinney is not good and that Dylan Cole is not good, and even when you give examples, you know, they just make it seem like it's just outlier games. No, the man produced in every single game that he played. But these are guys who claim that they watch film of the Texans. But yet you can overlook players like Dylan Cole and Bernard McKinney. So shame on them. But both of those guys are going to perform.
Hector, your thoughts out of Scarlett, Cole, or Cunningham? Who's going to take the next big leap?
So I'm only picking one, right? That's not like we're not picking like which one's out of the 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would definitely agree with Cunningham that he's definitely going to make it big, but I think a lot of people expect it from Cunningham though. Cole, I mean, this guy, I think he instantly became a fan favorite. Just seeing his work ethic, seeing how much he puts in. The guy is like a modern day Rudy. So, I mean, he's an undersized linebacker. I mean, not real. I mean, he's pretty big, but I mean, consider for your typical linebacker, he's pretty undersized. But I mean, he can cover. He pretty much does it all. And I mean, he made some pretty big picks again in that Cleveland game before he got injured. And I think that definitely Dylan Cole is going to be someone that everyone starts talking about.
Man, if it's my opinion, I know everybody's going with Cole and Cunningham because we saw the flashes from them, much younger guys, and especially in their rookie season. I'm not going to say Scarlett, but I don't want to count him out because he started to look like he was doing a little something before he went down. I want to say he had, 2 sacks that game before he went down, or he had a tackle for a loss, something like that. He had 2 nice plays that game, kind of almost back-to-back or relatively close within one another before he went down that game. So hopefully maybe he can find his lane. But I might have to agree with Cole, man. I think Cole, he took a couple of injuries and that slowed him down. But coming in as an undrafted free agent, I think he feels, disrespected. I think he was a solid guy. Oh, the wise man that came back. What's the motherfucker deal? We'll get the wise man's opinion on this too. I think I like Cunningham, but with him being a higher round draft pick, again, the expectations. I'm gonna go with Cole on that, man. Because like I say, just got something to prove, and I think he's only going to get better. Wise man, how do you feel out of Cole, Cunningham, and Scarlett? Which one of those guys takes the next big step this year?
Ooh. Well, you can already eliminate Scarlett. It's going to be between Dylan Cole and Zach Cunningham because those guys have big roles already. Especially Zach Cunningham, he plays in the middle. He's going to get a lot of tackles, so you can see his production tend to increase as along with him acclimating to this defense and being familiar with Romeo Cornell's defense. So, I mean, I think it's going to be between him and Dylan Cole. And Dylan Cole is a guy that has speed, that can also play the outside, that can play coverage and things like that. So, I mean, I can't choose out of those two, but those would be my top 2.
Shout out to Jay Dizzle. Very good question coming in. He said, what was your favorite Madden? So this one's up there for all the tubers. What year was your favorite? Mine, what year was Vic on the cover? 04?
That was 04. Yeah, I love that one.
That might have been mine. That might have been one of my favorite Madden. That's probably when I was eating the most. Then I kind of fell off after Vince was on the cover.
It's too much sauce.
No, that was good,
on
man.
that TB12 method. Tears of joy his coach pushing.
I love Madden 13. I love Madden 25. That was probably like the best run game and user. Madden 08 was pretty good, but it's kind of hard for me to really dwindle down because, it's switched up over the years. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with like Madden 08 or Madden 09 because, I mean, you could just use Chris Johnson and run outside tosses and things like that, and Adrian Peterson was unstoppable in that game. I mean, you cannot stop those guys. You can run for 200 and 300 yards every game.
Which one was it where you can say you threw a pick, you could rewind that play?
Oh man,
that was kind of like through 06, 07. I want to say it was in 05 too.
I want to say it was. I think it was 07. I don't remember. I just remember
okay,
they had Steve
Slade. Call coming in on the sauce line here. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in on the sauce line this evening?
Yeah, it's Edman.
What's up, Ed, man? What's the motherfucking deal, man? What kind of sauce you want to spill on the line this evening?
It's a question for Wink and Hector. Just wanted to get their thoughts on Sammy Coates and how if he's surpassed everyone's expectation as a waiver claim.
So what's your thoughts on that? Has he surpassed everyone's expectations being a waiver claim? You said you had two questions?
Yeah.
And what was your second
one? Which is if you expect Sammy Coates to get on the field during regular season.
Okay. Two questions about Coates, man. Ed, man, I appreciate you calling. I'm going to hang up on you. We're going to answer that question, man.
All right,
cool. Man, shout out to Ed, man, calling in, holding it down.
First take.
So, the first one is basically has Sammy Coates surpassed expectations, being a waiver claim, and will he see time on the field this season?
You can go, Hector.
All right. For starters, I like Sammy Coates. I thought it was a great pickup, very underrated pickup. You guys know how I feel about Sammy Coates. You know my bold mark my words, and I said that Sammy Coates will be this year's Bruce Ellington. I think he's gonna. And another thing about him is just that we don't have that many tall receivers, so that just adds another feature that makes him good for us especially when we bring him in the regular season. I still believe that we'll have a 6-man receiving core, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I think Sammy Coates does make the team, and I think he'll come in for big plays, maybe even come in for some red zone plays.
I agree with what Hector said. To be honest, I wasn't as high on him coming into the season, because I felt a few other guys, should have been prioritized. But, considering the amount of weapons that they have, nobody feels bad about the receiving core, at all. Of all the groups that we have, nobody was really questioning it last year until injuries and suspensions started happening early on in the season and tight ends started getting hurt. But when Watson came in, nobody was really worried about the receiving core. And it's bolstered. It's deeper than it was last year. So I really have no questions as far as that. I've been saying I think 6 receivers are going to be on this roster. And it would be the right move for them to keep that, Cut a guy like Jay Prosh because you don't need him. And, make sure that he makes the team. And it's like Hector said, you don't have that many, with the exception of Braxton. Braxton's 6'1". Hopkins is 6'1", but we know what he does. I want to say Will Fuller's 6 foot even. And Sammy Coates is 6'3". So, I mean, you got decent size, but he's the tallest receiver with with good speed, good hands, and him being around the group of guys that we have, he has more than enough to learn. And I think under Bill O'Brien, they could utilize him, which I can't believe I'm saying right now, but I think he finds a way to get in where he fits in, and his size could very well be a reason why he makes the team.
We got a good conversation going on in the chat about the various, man. I'm telling y'all, it was about that, all about that NBA 2K, the NFL 2K on the Dreamcast. Man, look, they need to go ahead and just ease up off that license a little bit. Let 2K get a foot in the door. Let them make a football game again.
And
there's one game though. There's one game that you guys aren't talking about that honestly is king when it comes to football video games, and that's NCAA.
Man, pay the players. Look, I missed out on my little lawsuit. They sent me the little thing. I could have got me a couple little funky $300-400. I ain't never sent a thing back in. I got the letter somewhere. I don't even know where it's at. But all you gotta do is, man, pay them people. You eating millions and millions of dollars. Like I said, they need to figure it out. They using these people's likenesses. Like I said, we talked about this the other day. When we were talking about jerseys and all that shit. These motherfuckers can make millions and millions of dollars off these dudes, and you can't break them off a little something. I mean,
what was the last one they made? The one that had RG3 on the cover, right? When he was at Baylor.
No, it was Denard Robinson.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Why was he on the cover?
Because he was said to be a good quarterback.
Well, we see how that shit turned out. He went to Jacksonville and got out of the league.
He became an offensive weapon, I think it was the BS title that they gave him.
Yeah, they said he was a quarterback, a running back, a corner, a receiver.
He's a football player.
Just a football player.
Man, speaking about going to Jacksonville and just disappearing, whatever happened to the old buddies? I had wanted him at one point. Blackman, whatever happened to Justin Black? I know he was drinking and shit, but that motherfucker fell all the way off.
He was a drunk man. I watched that. Tell me why I watched that Jaguars game, that 2000. Man, it's so many of those old Texans games, that just happened last year and over the last since like 2010 that are on YouTube, full games or condensed games. And I just so happened to watch that game, and Justin Blackman went the fuck off. Do you realize Justin Blackman, had he stayed, because it's no way that he could have put up those type of numbers every game, but Justin Blackman had the speed to everything that you needed. I think he's what people thought that Dorial Green Beckham could have been, when he got to the league. But Justin Blackman just is a waste of talent, just like Alden Smith and a couple other players in this league who fizzled out, because they had too much outside shit going. And it pains me to see people waste that type of talent.
So you're talking about Gridiron Champions coming out in 2020. That's the one where they bring out with the classic players. Is that one? And then look, I see Wise. You better get them, Wise. They reporting some news in the chat that you already told them about, man. That you tried to break to them the other day, man. I'm telling y'all better hear the Wise, man. He's trying to give y'all that basketball news, man.
What they talking about?
They're talking about Ryan Anderson going to Miami for James Johnson.
I've been saying that for like a week and a half now. I mean, These guys, I give them the opportunity to follow me on Twitter at The Wise Citizens. They need to follow Hector. They need to follow Wink. They need to follow Bray. I mean, we give these guys the news. We give these guys the latest information going on with Houston sports, but they just don't want to feed it. They want to listen to ESPN and NFL Network and things like that.
They want to listen to pancakes.
Last week, I bullshit you not. Braylon broke the injury that Trevor Williams, the cornerback that went down after Jason Verrett, he broke that injury before Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter even reported it. Hours before they reported it, which was absolutely crazy. And we're basically nobodies. And we get the news and we know shit that's going on way before these so-called experts that get paid to know this information firsthand. And yet still we're finding it out, and we end up relaying this shit to y'all because we have much better details. But
I technically called the Osuna trade.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I mean, when people gonna start listening, I've been talking about Deshaun Watson's feet. Now everybody's like, "Oh God, Deshaun Watson." Man, I was saying that shit 6 months ago.
Okay. We should now. Chandler said Chandler hit the south. He said he was hearing about the same thing. He sent it a few minutes ago. So he was talking about that too. So shout out to Chandler. Excuse me, I'm all burping and shit. Ashmill asks, "What do y'all think about Prosh?"
Well, we all know what Wink feels about Prosh.
No, I don't even have a problem with Prosh. I'm just saying his role on offense is almost non-existent.
And I have to agree with Wink because I mean, if we ran that Kubiak system then
yeah.
Jay Prosh would be perfect.
Absolutely.
However, in this system, we don't use a fullback. We barely see this guy in the game. I mean, it's just a roster spot. I mean, if you need him, then you bring him off the practice squad. Or if not, then cut him. I mean, we know they can get stolen off the practice squad, but I don't think he's that much of a need.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, I think we all like Jay Prosh. I think he has his worth, but you're not using him. I mean, and yeah, there's that saying: it's better to have it and not use it than not have it and need it. Yeah, but you don't really call that many plays that requires a fullback or Jay Prosh. So I mean, yeah, just put him in the practice, and that's a position that that's a spot that's someone that we could use. And I think this was something that Andre Johnson said in the podcast with Arian Foster, which is a great podcast, the What Now podcast. And he said it, like he said that we have these. Why can't we have we got roster spots, we got players that we don't even use, that are just a waste of space. I mean, and that's kind of insulting to Jay Prosh, because I really do think he's a great fullback, but he's just sitting there collecting dust. So I mean, we just need, either we start utilizing a fullback, or realize our offense doesn't need one.
You tell me if you know formations. Anybody out here who's asking this question, because Asmil was trying to get in my head on Twitter Live the other day. This is why he's asking this question, and he tried to tell me that how this man, I know this man's scheme. When we run power, we're running up the middle. We don't even really run fullback dive. I mean, well, we've tried to run fullback dives and shit like that on the goal line, and shit like that has not panned out for us. But like, we don't play like any lead dives. We're not playing ISO. We're not playing strong guy, weak guy.
Hold on a second, I'm gonna cut you off. We got a call coming in on the sauce line. What's the motherfucker who got calling in on the sauce line?
What's up, man? It's the number one shit talking Tenny. And I can't believe this shit I'm hearing right now, man. How y'all gonna be hating on Prosh? He's like the best fullback in the league out of the only two fullbacks in the league. I mean, come on, man. You can't be number one of the only two and not be on this team. You don't want to give him up to the Titans, the Colts, the Jags. What's wrong with y'all?
Because you're right. You were looking as soon as
I know you're just trolling the fuck out of us.
I know pick him right up. They're going to have him do laundry and everything. Yeah, yep. Forget about the double threat he is. He can do laundry. He can block. He can run your errands. He can pick up coffee for the quarterback. I'm done with this, man.
And Tindy, when we cut him, Tindy, I want you to call in and say, but Prosh didn't make a Super Bowl.
This dude is a dual threat, triple threat, quadruple threat. Chat room, y'all need to step up and start respecting his name.
Put some respect on my name. I ain't gonna say
it. My God.
Respect on his name.
Alfred Blue.
So somebody said the pistol formation
on the round table.
Already. That's the best. My fault. Shout out to Titty, man, holding it
we
down,
don't
man.
Pistol full house.
Hey, but y'all ain't lying. Hey, Vontae was another level. Though. Vontae was a goat. That nigga Vontae was a road grader. I'm talking.
Yes.
Just get behind him, and you will see success. I mean, that's just I used to love Vontae, dog. That motherfucker there was a motherfucking fool, dog.
Ray Rice, Ben Tate, Steve Slayton. Fucking Ray Rice,
Dominic Davis.
Dominic. Man. Like a lot of running back. He cleared the way for a lot of running backs, man. And he was the last true fullback. The throwback fullback who would maul the fuck out of you, clear holes. Like nobody opened up holes the way that he did. Oh, you got guys like the guy that used to play in front of AP. I forget his name. It's a few other guys, the guy for the 49ers that he used to be on that fullback, and there's a couple other guys, but fullback has died out years ago. The fact that they even hold that position in the league when a lot of guys, with the exception of a few teams, like if this was the Panthers, you could justify Jay Prosh being on this roster. But it's just not the same anymore. If this was like you said, like Honcho said, if this was Kubiak or somebody like that, I could understand us having a fullback. But Bill O'Brien, come on, man.
I will say though, I mean Jay Prosh, we're not saying that he's not good. It's just like it just doesn't fit. And he can actually catch too. But I mean, it's just not a need. And then like for whoever said the pistol formation does not consist of a fullback.
No.
Unless you. So I don't know where that came from.
These dudes that play too much Madden, bro.
Man, we got a question coming up. Text on the sauce line for Wink says, question for Wink: do you think that Tristan Day could get cut? We haven't heard very much from him in camp.
Man, I've been asked about Tristan Day and live streams on Twitter, forever now. And I've been seeing stuff like Instagram stories and things of that nature. Any of these guys are really covering him. I think because they don't really know about him, they forget about him, and it's no telling where his position is when he's playing on the field. Not in terms of like his actual position in the game. I'm saying like whether he's the 3 or the 4 man or 5 or 6. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So until they get some glimpses in. This is what training camp is. Training camp is about the players on the rise, and a guy like Tristan Day should definitely be getting some love in training camp. But I see him making the team because you're too thin at corner, and if a safety goes down, you're going to need a possible, some possible some safety talent. So at the end of the day, why cut him? That would make absolutely no sense because I see nobody at the 5th or 6th spot who's going to be able to outplay him.
I think we got a couple more messages here. I'm trying to make sure I ain't missing nobody. Double checking and everything. Let me see. Okay, and Broderick said earlier too. He said B.O.B. said today that he wouldn't make a decision on Watson or Watt playing Thursday until the morning of the game. So that's a good deal to hear. I got a question for y'all. This is gonna be our last question. Then we're gonna wrap it up. Who was? Let me make sure I word this right. Which running back in Texans history failed to live up to the hype?
Steve Slayton.
What?
I think Slayton had a solid year.
That's what I was going to. Honestly, I can't say Ben Tate, but Ben Tate was a 2nd-round pick, though.
Yeah.
Tate would have been all right. He just fell into the wrong line. When he broke that fucking ankle, and then Aaron got that time to shine. I mean, it was just a wrap for him there. He knew he wasn't going to get the love that he was expecting to get. But when he left and went to Cleveland, it was a wrap for him.
But Ben Tate was more solid than Alfred Blue as a number 2.
I would say Ahmad Green.
Ahmad Green.
Yeah. He definitely sucked, but he was at the end.
Yeah, he was old
though.
Yeah, but you know how everybody got excited about that? Like, oh man, we got Ahmad Green because I mean he was a pretty good running back, and I mean. Yeah, he was up there in age, but I mean, back at that time, it was like you could be up there in the 30s as a running back. But I mean, yeah, it was just
true. That's true. That's true. What you're saying? You're saying that like, but to be honest, I have to say it was Steve Slayton, because Steve Slayton had the year where he finished like 7th overall and like rushing and shit like that. And like this was like a year or so before Aaron Foster came here, like 07, 08, somewhere within that time, and him coming out of what was it, West Virginia? What did
West Virginia
come out of West Virginia?
Yeah, Pat
came out of him and Pat
White, huh?
Damn, what was his name? He was a quarterback.
Yeah, it was Pat White, wasn't Pat White, something like that.
Yeah, Pat White.
You know who I'm talking about? Pat. Yeah, I cannot think of his name. Somebody in the chat is going Pat White. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Pat White. Him and Pat White came out at the same time. They had him 2nd round.
You know what? Sticky got a good point. Sticky got a good point with Chris Polk.
Chris Polk, chicken and shrimp. Shout out Mr. Mediocre. What's the motherfucking deal? Slayton. Slayton. Okay.
A sleeper running back that we had that we should have kept was Justin Forsett.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
Should have brought him back.
His knee was down.
He he went to the fucking Ravens
Yeah.
and balled out.
He said that shit himself about his knee being down. So, okay, and outside of that, the last one more thing. Who was the worst running back to ever wear a Texans uniform and see PT in a game?
Man, that's hard.
It is
That
hard.
is hard. I can't.
Who was our first ever running back?
Derek. Damn, he was on the team when Amon Green, like Derek something.
Dominic.
No, not Dominic
No,
Davis.
I'm saying, but
It was-
when did he come in?
Dominic Davis was here like
Derek
04,
Ward?
like 02. Yeah, he
My
was
fault.
here
I see him
like
trying to call in
inception.
Ken, but we're gonna take it. We're actually gonna wrap it up here shortly. So, but
I guess I would say Tyler Irvin if that's the case. I mean, he hasn't really panned out.
Yeah.
how do y'all feel about?
You know what? I changed my answer to Tyler. No, you know what? That's my answer on the last question. Tyler Irvin. Because Tyler Irvin was like the top 5 running back when he came out, honestly. And his tape is saying
Dre Day the guy, we on the same
phenomenal.
page.
And he got to the league and he's done nothing.
What about
Tyler
Ron
Irvin.
Dane?
Yes.
Ooh. Kenny Hiller never actually got to play as a Texan, so
Yeah,
that's not a.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kenny Hiller, but nah, he didn't play.
Nah.
He was a
He
practice
never
team
even
guy.
made the team.
Chris
He was always on practice squad.
Chris Jones. I mean, Chris Brown.
I forgot
Chris
where Chris
Agbanaya.
No,
Chris
Benaya.
You remember
They
him?
loved
Chris
Agbanaya. I hated Ron Dane. Dane
shit.
won a Heisman, dog. Just that shit ain't really panned out, in my opinion. I know he, Texas was his initial team, but still, I had expectations for Dane, and it was just lame. Who else? Who else? We had a couple of here and there's, man. I have to go back and just do a little bit of research, see what the worst was. But here's
That should be our next topic. Worst Texans ever.
Worst Texans ever. That might be the thing. That might say, look, let's go start a fire. You gonna have
You know who was sloppy, Honcho?
Who was that?
I said, you know who was sloppy, but he didn't play for us?
Who was
Sean Alexander for the Seahawks. Wasn't he sloppy?
Man.
Like, have you ever seen Sean Alexander play?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I was saying, like, Sean Alexander from the fucking Seahawks. The year they had ended up going to the Super Bowl and lost. Like, he was so sloppy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why he was
crazy.
super fucking sloppy.
You say Ed Reed is hands down the worst Texan ever change your mind?
Nah.
That's a hard one.
It's a
That's like
couple
a,
of them, man.
I
It's
can
a
say,
couple of them we can talk about, man.
He's the biggest free agent disappointment.
Man, let me see. I don't know. You kind of cutting out.
That's what I say for Ed Reed.
Like I said, if we talking biggest free agent bust picks, it's going to be between 17, Green, and Reed, I think, in my opinion.
No, you got to add Raheem Moore in there too.
oh man, that was a letdown.
That was
17 takes the key.
Yeah, I would have to say
17 is always going to be
Yeah.
just because of the money.
because the
Yeah,
money
that's
and what he was
what-
expected, what was expected from him.
Raheem Moore was pretty bad. Yeah.
we got blown out by Atlanta. We got blown out by the Dolphins. Our secondary was just getting torched.
Gilchrist at least got like a play or something when he was playing with the Texans.
Ryan Mallett, even though we didn't give up much to get him, he was one of the worst players that we ever traded for.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of the worst.
Motherfucker
Like,
couldn't even wake up
in
on
terms
time,
of like players,
goddamn.
he sucks. Like,
That motherfucker couldn't even get up on time, missing flights and shit.
yeah.
That's his shenanigans. But yeah, I think you got
David Carr wasn't that bad.
David Carr was just in a bad situation. He was just put in a bad situation, man. It is hard to wake up sometimes, depending on what your ass was doing the night before, goddamn. David Carr just, I mean, shit, whatever he had, that motherfucker snapped the ball and just took off running and got his ass sacked. Like, David Carr could do nothing, dog. There was nothing that I mean, he just got basically he got gun shy, I think, eventually because shit. I mean, he couldn't do shit. I mean, he was running for his life.
2006 draft. Who did y'all want? Honestly, did you want Vince or did you want Reggie Bush?
Vince.
Reggie Bush.
You gotta go with Vince.
I wanted Vince because I remember being at the Astrodome when you could still play football games, and Yates used to always play Madison at the fucking Astrodome week 3. That was always our week to play them, and every year that he played, because I was at Yates from 2000 to 2004. And like between 2000 and 2002 when he graduated, he whooped our ass every year, man.
Man, I remember his.
I wanted Reggie Bush,
Madison, and North Shore in the playoffs in the Dome. That was a hell of a motherfucking game, dog. That's what shit. That's what we talk about. Some motherfucking team. North Shore was always a threat.
Biggest RB bust was Sierra Wood in
you see,
2013.
these are the type of like even the nostalgia. Like, if you weren't even around, like, you couldn't even fathom, like kids, you know, like, people in high school over the last 16, 15 years can never be playing the fans type shit, you know, and all of that. Like, have no clue what it was like. Fucking games used to be so like straight up. That and going this games to like the stadium, like high school.
That shit sound crazy because it was going slow as hell. Like, and I'm sitting there just like, I can imagine how fast Wink really talking, but the shit just was coming out slow. And I don't know why it was. But yeah.
I still would have picked Reggie Bush for obvious reasons.
Bush, we know because you're biased. You're just a homer, and I don't understand your decision.
I mean, I would have went with Vince Young. I mean, he probably would have did better. I mean, he wasn't doing bad with the Titans. They just didn't know how to use him. Jeff Fisher was a hate.
Fisher didn't want that dude, man. Yeah, Fisher was hating on him from day one, dog. Fisher ain't want to fuck with Vince, dog.
That's the same thing that happened to RG3. Shanahan didn't want RG3. So I mean, when you go into situations like that with a quarterback, that hurts your morale, and that. But
at least I can give Shanahan the doubt to say that he gave RG3 a run game. They had a solid defense, and at the end of the day, he catered the offense to his skill set. So he actually set RG3 up for success and was willing to work with RG3. But, you know, shit just dissipated and dudes got fired. But I was just saying before I cut out, I'm not sure what y'all heard. Like, over the last, 15, 16 years, like, dudes that are in high school now that have just graduated or over that time period, you'll never understand how live it was to play at the Astrodome at that point in time. And that's what I was trying to say. You remember that shit, Honcho.
Yeah, I had a fucking magazine cover. I'm going to find it. I was on the front page, the sports page in the Dome. I forgot who we played. It was either Clyde Forest or one of them Clyde schools we was playing. It was the first game of the season playing in the motherfucking Astrodome. I'm going to find it. I'm going to come bring that I'll bring it to the sauce one day. That shit was, it was just another feeling, man, that just being in the Dome. Shit, you were in high school, but you felt major shit. You got to play on the big boys field. Kenneth, sometimes I be hoping Kenneth be all right, but he's smoking wet. I don't even acknowledge November 27th as a song. Yeah. Lamar side. I remember playing it in high school. It was the B team. I think one of the teams that fucking had canceled or something. Lamar came through, and I remember my partner. He was on. It was either JV or something he was on, and they started that whole off on kickoff. That nigga ran down, got laid out, and fucking he's like, man, I don't know what happened, coach. They dented my helmet. I'm like, God damn, nigga, they made your ass motherfucker be out. He ain't go bounce to get back in the game after that, man. But Lamar was serious. They was the real deal. The motherfuckers can play some Lamar can play some ball. We're gonna have to get on, man. That's what we're gonna have to do before the season really get cranked up. We're gonna have to get some high school action. We're gonna have to holler at Broderick. I know you keep up with some of the high school action going on. We're gonna have to definitely get some good high school conversations. I ain't really been keeping up as of late to who been balling around the city. We're gonna have to get some of that action going, man. Because I mean, I don't care what they say. Ain't no high school ball anywhere like Houston high school football. They can talk about Dallas if they want to. They can talk about everywhere else in the boonies if they want to. The reason why Houston schools be going through it is because they beat up on each other all season long, and then you know you go out and play other teams. Like shit, they ain't been as beat up as you have. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, Houston schools beat the shit out of each other all season long, and then you go play some competition who might be healthy or whatever else it may be. But I don't think there's no. I remember we had played against a San Antonio team. They got with it. They swore up and down San Antonio. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all got the fat girls and the churros. Get on with the bullshit.
I'm not gonna lie, Honcho. It's so funny you saying that. Division games used to be so hard, but like even your rivalry games, because you know Yates, rivalry was Booker T, Madison, Worthen, and it was definitely, but. With us at all. And shout out to anybody who used to ball out at Milby, because Milby used to have some so many great ass basketball players that came up out of Milby High School, being the league, some great college stars, man.
Yeah, Milby has put out some talent out there, man. Said Lamar B. Yates 56-0 at Rice Stadium. Damn. The young graduate same y'all team was all right back then. There was a couple, man. I'm telling y'all, man, we're gonna have to get it. Right? Say you fuck with the high school action. We're gonna have to get a good high school conversation going. Some of y'all youngsters don't know, but we're gonna have to have a throwback high school conversation. When football was football, before y'all start having male cheerleaders on the sideline and shit. That's what y'all youngsters got going on now. Y'all into that new shit, man.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We gonna call it a wrap, man. We finna wind it down.
If you didn't graduate, I'm gonna say like if you didn't graduate between like 2000, 2008. It's just like
it's a different brand of ball. Yeah, you had to be in that first of the decade, man. That first of the 2000s. It was before y'all everybody started having smartphones. When the smartphones got real popular, that's when the shit just started really declining. After that, y'all know what happened. The smartphones mixed up the game of football. Goddamn, motherfucker, right, Dre? They class of 03 already.
04, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all was all right. I had some talents both of us. A couple of niggas came out of 04. The 90s football was different. Y'all had them old super big pads and shit. You motherfucking be. You couldn't even see.
Bro, I remember how weak Yates jerseys used to be before the 05 class ended up getting new jerseys. Them hoes was weak. Them hoes was passed down from the 70s, bro. Like,
man, bro, you ain't lying about the thigh pads either, dude. God damn.
Hey, because I know every high school do this, like on Fridays for games, because games are always on Fridays or Thursdays and some shit like that. But Fridays, the seniors and juniors everybody who was varsity used to be able to come in and wear their jerseys. Nigga, we had the lamest ripped up jerseys. I'm like, bro, it was like the practice jerseys, but they was the game jerseys at the same time. I'm so glad whoever donated and got Yates their jerseys game up, like got their shit up, man. Shout out to Jack Yates High School. Man, that's my alma mater, man. That's my shit, bro. I love Jack Yates, bro. I used to be scared of that hoe in the 90s. Like,
really says Kinfolk Walt went to school with Wink. Really Cavity Creep say your boy Walt went to school with you. But that's a bit, man. That's a bit. We're going to wind it up, man. We're going to call it a wrap. I appreciate y'all, man. We're going to be back in action. Look, tomorrow, Thursday. Look, hey, I'm telling y'all, Thursday is not going to be 7 o'clock. I know y'all used to every night at 7 o'clock, but Thursday is game day. So we're going to be live at 6:30 with the pregame show. We're going to be after the game. Sauce line going to be jumping. We're going to have it activated. So make sure y'all ready to call in. Look, tell your people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can, look, here's the deal. Y'all can go wait for 2 or 3 hours and call them other shows, them other places to be on the AM radio where you can't hear. Depending on where you're driving, that your reception might be bad. That's cool if that's what you're doing. Yeah, I'm throwing salt. I don't give a damn. Y'all can do that, or y'all can call the show where y'all gonna be able to say what the fuck you want. You can speak on what you really truly feel. We're gonna address your concerns and questions. We're gonna let you speak. You know what I'm saying? And get your thoughts across, man, because like I say, we do this for y'all, man. We just fans talking to the fans, man. We ain't no experts. We ain't finna act all smug and high sedity with you and all that other shit like you just out of there. If you got an opinion, if you got a question, if you got thoughts, hey, you a part of the fresh ingredients, man. You get to come stir it up in the sauce, man. Like I said, we got love for each and everybody who spends their time fucking with the flavor, man. That's really ultimately what it's all about, creating a conversation for the city that don't nobody else want to have, man. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all here. If you want to be a part of the Madden League, text your information to the sauce line. If you're on PS4, Wise going to be handling the PS4. I saw somebody ask earlier who handled the PS4 action. And Wink gonna be handling the Xbox action. But y'all send that info to the sauce line, or you can send an email to saucesports@gmail.com. Everybody who sent fantasy football, y'all should have gotten y'all invitations. And what I did, I only kept the top 4 from last year. So if you was in the mix last year, you'd have got cut if you ain't make the top 4. And then that league might be full, so we got a second league started up. So, again, if you want to be part of the Sauce Sports Fantasy Football, man, make sure you send your email information. We get that going because we're already getting those fired up. Let me see what else. Like I say, man, just like I say, make sure you hit that sauce line, the number right there. That'll be the easiest way to text it to the sauce line. And just like I say, put your system on there. We'll get that from you. Saucesports@gmail if you want to email your information. Like I say, your PS4, your Xbox, whatever information you want to see. If you want to be part of fantasy football, you want to be part of the fantasy football, or you want to be part of Madden leagues. So, like I say, all you got to do is hit the motherfucking me. All you got to do is hit the motherfucking email or the sauce line, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
And no, just appreciate everybody that came through once again. It was another fun show. You know, I'm glad we had to have Hector, Wise, along with Honcho and myself, to give y'all guys some great content for everybody. Appreciate Tenny calling in, always bringing the energy like he always does. And, we plan on giving y'all a lot more energy once the preseason starts. And y'all ride with us, man. When we letting y'all know some shit, we ain't telling you because it's what we think. We just telling y'all it's because what we know.
Exactly.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for coming through. I mean, y'all need to follow everybody on Twitter. Y'all need to follow everybody on YouTube. Y'all need to follow everybody in general. I mean, the roundtable, we put it in work. We bring y'all this preseason action. Not a lot of networks covering the preseason like we are. I mean, we putting in the work. Y'all coming through every night. We love y'all support. Also, y'all boys, y'all be ready to sign up for that Madden League on PlayStation 4. I mean, y'all gonna get y'all ass whooped, but I mean, y'all can go ahead and add me at JCitizen73. I mean, y'all can catch these hands any day. So, and then follow me on Twitter. Follow Hector on Twitter. And follow Wink on Twitter. And follow Sauce Sports HTX on Twitter.
If you want to reach all these guys' channels, man, no excuses. Links in the description below. Check out the feature channels. The links are there. And all throughout the chat, all stream long, their information is getting put up. So, again, you know what I'm saying? Shit, the information is there. Just stay tuned. Sometimes you got to keep your eyes on the chat. But like I say, we keep the info flowing. Hector, you got anything you want to say before we slide out?
Shout out to everybody. And tomorrow, Dynamo are playing LAFC in the semifinal of the U.S. Open Cup. So, keep your eyes peeled on that.
Beat LA.
Yep.
Already. And like I say, man, hey, y'all already know. Again, one more time, man, y'all make sure y'all stay active, man. If y'all trying to get that free sauce merch at the end of the month, all you got to do is be active. Look, flip your sauce. Sometimes you got to take a risk, but whoever has the most sauce at the end of the month will get some love with some super saucy merch. And with that being said, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I appreciate everybody who tune in. I appreciate everybody who shows love, man. Good conversation, especially towards the end. Get some of that high school talk. Some of y'all youngsters don't know nothing about that. That's only for the old schools. That's only for the old school, man.
These young punks will never understand.
young whippersnappers got to sound like Mr. Otis on y'all real quick. Y'all don't even know about that, goddamn. But again, it's like I said, we're gonna be in the Kush Den, man. We're gonna do something a little bit different in the Kush Den for all y'all who fuck with the Kush Den, man. I'm gonna fuck around and do some live reactions. A partner of mine sent me some interesting stuff, and so I'm gonna let y'all, like I said, the Kush Den is just real interactive. We're gonna take live calls. The Kush line is active. So, like I say, I'm going to take y'all suggestion on shit that y'all think I need to see, because everybody else told you need to watch this and watch that. I don't ever watch the shit. So, this is your time, live and direct. Call in, send me the link if you got a certain YouTube video or some shit. Shoot that shit to the to my Instagram or on the Twitter, and I will check it out live as long as it ain't no bullshit. Look, I know some of y'all be in some of that weird ass shit, and y'all send me some of that off the wall shit. I'm a ban your motherfucking ass. But like I say, so y'all make sure y'all a part of that. If y'all want to just, like I say, kick it cool in the cush den. But with that being said, man, we chunking up the deuce. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to the round table. I appreciate y'all taking the time to fuck with your boy this evening. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and we out.